I don't even know to start. All right, hi. Hi, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. I am so happy to share that I have joined with my good friend, Rob Wiethoff, once again on the channel, most known for his role as John Marston, obviously. So, hey, Rob, how you doing?
I'm so good, Kay. Thank you. Thank you for having me. I love this. This is always great to hang out with you, and I really appreciate it. So thank you. How are you?
I'm doing great. I mean, like, I know that we've been talking a lot recently, and I seem to ask you all the time for like interviews and stuff, but it's not like, I don't know why. I just feel like you have such a positive and bright, bubbly energy, and I'm like, this guy needs to come back on the channel. Like,
Well, shoot, thank you. You bring that out of people, Kay. You should know that. You bring that out of people. So feel good about that. Thank you for saying that.
No, I mean, like, of course. And as I said, we've known each other for a long time, and it's weird, like, just getting to know more of who you are. And I know you don't really hide it. Like, you are who you are. You're unapologetically you, and it's amazing.
Well, thank you. You know what? I was talking to somebody the other day, and I thought, I know I do a lot of crazy things. I'm kind of wide open, but I can laugh at myself, and thank God for that, because if I couldn't, I'd be in big trouble.
That's the worst thing. Like, if you take yourself way too seriously, it's just like, no, where's the fun? Where's the fun in that?
Yeah, we're all having fun. Let's just keep having fun. Why not? Come on in.
So I feel like, because I've spoken to you so much, I have like no decent questions. I've had like bits here and there, but I've been asking people, and a lot of people have been asking about acting. Now, I know you don't really dabble in that kind of stuff anymore, but obviously if Rockstar came a knocking, you'd probably be like, okay, that's a bit different.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, I think that if Rockstar wanted me to work with them in any capacity, I'd be thrilled about it, of course. And I don't know, I mean, it just depends on kind of what it would be. I'm not searching for acting jobs right now. I'm not. But if somebody contacted me and said, we've got this role, do you want to do it? If it all worked out, and if it worked well for my family and all that. See, the thing, I guess, when I was working on Red Dead 2, my kids were 2 years old when I started, and they were 7 when I finished.
Wow.
And, yeah. And I loved it. And like I said, if they called, I'd be thrilled to work with them in any capacity. I really would. But it would take a lot probably for me to want just like jump on any opportunity given to me, because a lot of these things take a whole lot of time, and I want to be present with my family. I want, I love my family, and
of course,
I want to be around them. So I've got a regular job, and I enjoy that, and I live in this tiny little town, and honestly, I'm pretty busy with like the dumb social media stuff that I do. So I think that, you always want to be doing something. And I luckily have had things to announce that I'm going to, like conventions I've been going to and enjoying that whole process too. So I guess it's not like I'm not doing anything at all, but as far as looking and trying to audition for roles, I haven't been doing that for a while.
No, that's understandable. Something I love about you as well is like, you have such a nice voice to listen to. Would you ever consider doing like an audiobook or something in that kind of perspective?
Well, thank you. I've talked a lot to Roger Clark about that, actually, because he does them all.
Yeah, he'd be the top guy to talk to.
Yeah, I mean, he has been so helpful. He's sent me a microphone. Like, he gave me a microphone. It's like, this is what you want to use. I mean, he's basically like, he said, anything you want to know, I'm happy to tell you. I'm happy to introduce you to the people I work with. All of that. I mean, truthfully, he has been so helpful. So has Alex McKenna, who also does audiobooks. Yeah, Sadie Adler. So it's just, that is a job. And it's, I mean, you work an 8-hour day recording so many pages of this book, and then you submit it, and then it gets sent back to you. All right, make these corrections. And so it's not, I mean, I guess, to read an entire book out loud, it takes a lot of time to get it right. So that's,
yeah, definitely.
I don't have time to do that right now because of regular. So, but thank you. And I mean, who knows down the road what we'll run into, but
I know, like, I don't know what made me think of that. I think somebody mentioned it and I was like, I mean, yeah, like I could see you reading like a Western or like something, maybe like a crime thriller or something like that. That'd be so cool. Like hearing John Marston's voice on the other side, you're like, what's going on?
oh goodness. Well, thank you. Thank you. And I did really start talking to Roger about it for a while, gathering as much information as I could. I mean, I couldn't do it. I could not do it in this chicken coop. I mean, I guess there's room in here if I wanted to build one of those booths. You see these guys sometimes sitting in the
properly professional.
Yeah. And that, for the sound, it's got to be right. And it's got to be a professional setup. But also, once you get the material, like you get a book, somebody wants you to read it, you have to read the book. Not just record yourself reading it. You have to read the whole thing, understand it, and then start recording it. So it's a process. And I think, like Roger, he does so many of them. I don't know how many books he's read, I don't know that I would say there are books even that he's been hired to read. He's read the book and thought, I'm not going to do this one. I don't know that for sure, but
I mean, yeah, I imagine he gets a lot of books sent, and I think if your heart's not in it, then there's no point.
Yeah, and it's he's going to continue to have them sent because he does a really good job, and so yeah, I don't know. I love the idea of it. I mean, I love the idea of I can just work from home. I can just hang out and read books. That sounds awesome, but it's work too. I mean, it's not easy. So
no, absolutely.
You got to want to do it, like really, really want to do it, and then work hard at it. So thank you for saying that.
I mean, yeah, no worries. I'm not all about flattery. I'm kidding. I'm not. But what I was thinking as well, like, so you're not much of a gamer either. I feel like I'm just throwing you under the bus for every single little thing.
Oh, no, you're not. I do feel like for some reason I need to apologize for that whenever I mention it. But I guess I don't think I really do. I mean, I played a character in a video game, which I love, and I really enjoy the process. And it's so cool how it all looks while you're doing the performance capture, and even the work you do in a sound booth, the way that all of that looks. I love that. But I guess one thing that I know about video games is that, from my experience, when I have sat down to play a video game, I've thought that I've only been sitting there for 10 minutes, and it's really been like 2 hours. And I think, oh man, like it's hard to stop. It's hard to not sit there all day long. And I don't have time. I just don't have it, not right now. So I guess and the thing that's weird too about playing Red Dead is that I hear my own voice and I think I could have done that better.
Oh.
I could have done it better. I could have done it differently. And I see now what I think they were trying to tell me to do. And I guess maybe they gave up, but I get it. It could, whatever. Everyone's their own worst critic, I guess. Right. So.
Oh, absolutely. So in a sense though, if you were invited to join any video game franchise, and because I'm sure you've heard of plenty over your years, but what would you want to be in?
My goodness. That's a really tough question. But a good one.
Because there's a lot.
So many, yeah. I guess I could say I would love to be in the Grand Theft Auto franchise, because then I know I'd be working with Rockstar. But I haven't worked with any other gaming company. I don't know. I mean, I only know what I know. right? And I know that I really enjoyed Rockstar. I'm sure that I would enjoy the work with another company too. I threw that out there because I thought then I could definitely be back with my people. Um, but but I know, like Roger, Noshir Dalal, who played Charles Smith in Red Dead Redemption 2, he's kind of like a full-time motion capture performer.
Everything.
He's in everything, yes. And I think that, he does that because he really enjoys it. He's really good at it. And he probably loves everyone that he works with. So, like I said, I only know what I know, but my God, it would be so difficult to choose a franchise other than Red Dead. I really enjoyed getting to know, and I don't know either one of them well, but Nolan North and Troy Baker.
Yes, my boys.
The coolest people. Just you would hope, like when you got people that you think you're so talented and this is so cool. I get to meet you and hang out with you. So cool. Like both of them, honestly, I would love to work with either one of them if I ever had a chance. And I'm sure I could learn a ton from each one of them. They're both really, really talented, really cool people. So I don't know, but I guess pick one of those, Grand Theft Auto or either whatever they're working on.
Oh God, if you were in The Last of Us and you were like killed off, I think I would cry more than any other character death in that game. And I need therapy after those games. Like,
yeah.
So it's a whole thing.
The games are so well written too, aren't they?
Oh, I mean, God, yeah.
You have like the great graphics and the ability to interact with so many different things in these games now that makes it like, this is really mind-blowing, especially for people that know like all of that stuff and take advantage of it and really enjoy it. But also the story, they're so well written and they are emotional. I mean, they suck you in and you become part of this world and this story, and then things happen and it's brutal. It's brutal.
Yeah.
Sometimes.
It's like as soon as you turn on your game, you're like, oh wow, this is so pretty. What the hell are they going to put me into? What's going to happen now? I'm happy right now. What are you going to do to me?
Oh my. Yeah, I know. It's wild. But what a cool creative thing that has been expanded on. Everybody loved, and I'm 46 years old. Okay. So I'm not afraid to say that either. I'm 46 years old. So when I was a kid, you would go like, there were arcades and you could go in there and you would put quarters in machines and you could play Pac-Man and you could play, I guess there was one, like you could play Donkey Kong and you could play Galaga. And there were these different games that people really loved playing. Even then when they were there was nothing to it, right? Just a fun, really cool thing to do. But now it's amazing. It's amazing what they've turned into. And obviously a lot of people are very well aware of that. Obviously. I'm just afraid. Like I said before, I'm afraid that if I really, really dive into it now, it's too early. I just don't have time. It would be the worst.
No, I think the holidays as well is probably the worst time to do it as well.
Yeah.
Just there's so much going on and you're just like, no time, no energy.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. But it's a cool, people get into all different forms of entertainment, right? Whether it be watching movies or video games or reading books or even creating their own art, music, whatever it may be, that we've got a lot of really good options now. And I think that video games are becoming one of the favorites out of these things. It's pretty cool.
So I thought about this, like literally when I was writing down my notes, one of the things that popped in my head was like, so Red Dead, the first one came out about 12 years ago. Unbelievable. But so you wouldn't have had your children from then. And when John was in the story at that point, Jack was 16, 17. So when you go into the second game, you would have had your kids at this point, and Jack was like 3, 4. So was do you think your performance was better having like being a father and then trying to work your way through John as a character? Or were you kind of like, yeah, same old, same old?
No, I think it was different. I think it definitely was different because you know, we all go through different stages in our life, right? We all have different things at different points in our life that are the most important thing to us, right? Um, and what I didn't know, this is the craziest thing. I know this sounds crazy, but so when my wife and I, when we wanted to have kids, and then my wife is pregnant, and she's, you know, getting her belly's getting bigger and bigger. She had twins, right? We have twins, and I could see, and I knew, yeah, you're pregnant. We're having kids. It's going to be awesome. Well, she had that bonding experience with them from basically from conception. She said she knew right away, I'm pregnant. Well, so I thought, okay, once I knew, but it wasn't, it didn't register to me until my kids were born, till I physically was holding them.
Wow.
Oh my God. Like it was the most, and it's hard to even explain because of course I knew that my wife was pregnant, but until I held my kids in my own arms, I thought, oh my gosh, this is real. Wow. You know, so having had that experience and then trying to, you know, like pick up young Jack, who's in the middle of this gun battle and make sure he's gotten to safety and stuff like that. It was different. I mean, you still have to be John Marston, right? You still have to be this guy that's, and you know, at that point, I don't know that he was real satisfied with the idea that he was in fact John's dad, right? For a lot of this at the beginning of the game. But it was different. And it was one of the other things that made it kind of fun and crazy is that first of all, there were 4 or 5 different Jacks in Red Dead Redemption 2, because it started when he was just a little guy, and then as the game went on, he got older, and so they had to be different age people, different size people, all the different things that go along with kids grow so fast that we've got to keep changing this, you know. Anyway, one of the kids that played Jack was he was the assistant director's son.
Oh, wow.
And, yes. And he was a little guy. He was shy.
Oh.
So sweet. I mean, the coolest, his dad's one of the coolest guys in the world, probably. But I just thought, oh my goodness, man. And you know, his dad is standing right there, and this is what he does. And he's so proud of his son. And I thought, this is a really, really cool moment. And so, I mean, that was separate, obviously, from what the actual scenes were and stuff, but it was different. Definitely different.
Yeah. So what was your favorite Marston family scene?
Oh my goodness. So there were actually two that were kind of actually emotional, really. One was when they bring back Jack from oh my goodness, yes, from Bronte, and everybody celebrates, and there's this big thing. So Callie Moore, who played Abigail Marston, was so, I mean, she made it seem like this was a real thing, like the way that she portrayed that scene when we were acting it out. It almost like, oh my God, you know, like she's really doing this. And I say that about so many different people. Of course they did. That's why they were hired. That's why the game is as good as it is, right? Because of these performances by people. But getting, you know, over the time that I'd gotten to know Callie and worked different scenes with her, and of course little Jack, you know, and hanging out with him, that I just thought, it is that big of a deal. And it is like something where you would act that way. And of course I still had to be John, right? John doesn't get emotional and cry. But there were times where I thought, if this was me though, if it was me and this happened in my life, I'd be a mess. I'd be so happy. I'd be just a ball of tears on the floor, you know? But yeah, Callie was awesome. during that, and little Jack running to her, all that was just really awesome. And then the other one was when John and Sadie and Charles go up the mountain, and then when they come back, and that whole scene, that was really, really emotional too. Even though Sadie and Charles aren't family, they were family, and it was
family, yeah.
That was a big, really, really cool moment too.
There was a moment that I think if you don't hang around the camp as much as I do anyway, you wouldn't have seen this moment. But there was just a moment, I can't even remember. I think it must have been chapter 4 or something. So John's just whittling at a bit of wood, and then he's sitting next to Jack, and I think Jack's just asking him a question. And then like you just see him interact, and he like puts his hand on his head and everything. And I'm sitting there like, oh no, this is like, oh my God.
Yeah, that we had some really cool moments in a game too, where it's, some of it can be so extremely different than that. You still have those moments. I think it's really cool that they took the time to do all that, because like you said, a lot of people probably never saw that, but you did, and it meant something to you. I love that they took the time to do that.
Yeah, like there's something I saw on TikTok as well, and there was like, it's the development like of their relationship, I guess. And it was just, I think it was Jack just asking John to play with him. He's like, oh, not right now, kid. And then like, I'm talking about chapter 6, like right at the end, it was like Micah started to kind of pick on both of them while they were sword fighting.
Yeah.
And he's like, you leave my son the hell. I'm like, oh, I'm like, this is good.
You got something to say, you say it to me. I forget what the line is. Yeah. And my goodness, Peter too. Wow. What a cool cast. I just can't imagine working with better people. It was awesome.
I mean, Peter's the nicest guy, and then he plays a total dickhead in the game, and he does it so well.
He does it so well. I know, and he's the last person to be like that at all in real life. He's just the coolest person in the world. It's wild. It's fascinating. He's truly, truly talented, and absolutely not afraid to go well beyond what they've asked of him. And he can deliver it, and it's awesome. It makes you want to do more, it makes you like, what can I do? And
what can I do to improve? Yeah,
I mean, it does. He does it so well.
I mean, so there's things going around, and I have a new podcast where I talk to like Red Dead fans about the game and things, and one of the things that popped up, like we were talking about our favorite ships, so like people we'd ship together which probably don't belong together, but something that kept coming up, and it kind of annoyed me for a while, was people were shipping Arthur and John together. Yeah. How is that weird to you? Like, to me it is, because they're brothers in my sense.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I mean, I don't think that the game, I don't think that the writers ever intended for that to be something that would be this is something that's going on and you're going to realize it, and it's never really made fully apparent that this is really what's going on. I don't think they ever intended to do anything like that. But I will say, if there's an audience that can say, this is what I enjoyed about it, and this is what I got from it, if that's what they like about it, good, enjoy it. It's for everyone. The game is for everyone, and it's for everyone to enjoy however they choose to. So I mean, I guess I don't think that was ever intended. I guess I should say I don't think that was ever intended. But no. I mean, if that's what people want to do with it, then right on. I
mean, I sounded judgmental, though. I'm definitely not judging, because I have definitely made some questionable ships in my time. But yeah, I think that one's a bit strange to me. Like, you guys are brothers, like almost literally, in a sense. So it's kind of like, I don't see them being a couple. It's just weird.
They wouldn't get, I mean, they don't get along real well, I guess, is one thing that would stand out to me. They're
I
not
mean, there'll be tension in that relationship.
right. Yeah. But like I said, it's for anyone and everyone's enjoyment and interpretation. And so
Of
there,
course.
whatever.
That's what makes the fandom so great. Like it's not just I've played this game, it's great, I'll just play it again. It's so much more than that. Like people are writing stories, making comics, artwork. It's just like your whole background is a shrine to what we do. So it's so good.
I promise you, it is all around me. It's everywhere. I don't have I need to like at some point move. I need to move this couch that I'm sitting on so that I can highlight some other stuff. I've always been in this corner, and I'll rearrange it every now and then. But I mean, there's just so much cool stuff. Do you see that hat back there?
Oh, my Rip Van Winkle hat.
Yes. I mean, it is overwhelming. And I think truly though, the point that you're making is that people have taken this and expanded on it with their own things. And I love that. I think that's so cool. That's why I have it all up. I love it.
Yeah, like for me personally, if there's like a game, like Telltale Games is a company that I love, and they've left one game in particular like on a cliffhanger, and I don't know if they're going back to it. So I'm just like, fuck it, I'm gonna do a continuation. So I've just started writing this really crap continuation, and people are like, yeah, like this is good. I'm like, well, they're not gonna do anything with it, so I might as well do something. So,
well, yes. And are you enjoying it?
well, I've only written the prologue in the first chapter. I really need to get good on the second chapters. People are like, where is it? And I'm like, I'm procrastinating.
Well, I think it's something that you're interested in, and I think I love that. I love it. It's making you think. It's making you be creative, and I think we're all happier when we're doing that.
Yeah.
And it sounds like if you're telling me that people are saying no, it's just great, then you're also entertaining other people. It's really awesome. I love it.
Yeah, it's so strange. Oh, I feel like every time I talk to you, like I'm so happy chatting, and I realize this is an interview, and I'm like, I have no questions.
No, I don't care. I don't care if you ask me questions or not. It's great to hang out. Absolutely.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, one of the things, you've had a haircut, right? You look really good.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, definitely since the last time I was on your show. Yeah. The last
Right down here.
Yeah, it was like white. I looked like
Like a bell.
You ever seen Poltergeist? Do you know that movie Poltergeist? I looked like the old guy.
Oh my God.
That's what I looked like. I'm sorry. I didn't think it was going to look that way, but it did. I didn't. What do you do? There's only one way to find out.
It's great.
But thank you. Yeah, I did. I got a haircut, and I don't know. It'll get long again, I'm sure. And then it'll get short again. That's kind of what I do. I don't like when my hair is short like this. And I know what is this hairstyle? I have no idea.
I like it.
Well,
it's like almost like a mohawk.
Kind of a little bit. I can stick it up maybe, but I have to do something with it, right? I have to. And I don't like to do that. I don't want to take the time to do that. So then I let it grow long. I wear a hat all the time. And then I realized you don't look good with long hair. Then I cut it off. Then it's like this never-ending thing.
Yeah, I remember the last time I saw you, you had a hat on. Your hair was like swept back. Like
I know. You never know. You never know what's going to happen with me and my hair, I guess. I've kind of got a beard going too. Look how white my beard is.
I approve of that.
Look at that sucker. What is all that? Telling you. Getting old. I'm getting old, Kate.
No, you're not. You're not.
I mean, it's natural, right?
It's crazy. Like my dad is 60 something. I don't know how old he is. So he's in his 60s. And he used to grow a goatee, and it was like sheer white. Like he was like Santa Claus every single time he grew it. And he was like, I only wear a goatee because when I grow it out, it's like the rest of it's brown. with like some bits of white in it, and I'm like, but then when he shaved it, it like took 20 years off him, and I'm like, Dad, you just keep it, like, don't grow a beard. I love beards, but don't grow it. Like,
Yeah, it is amazing how it does make you look older. It does. And I don't know, like people that really know how to grow a beard, like Ben Davis or Roger.
oh yes.
Even Peter. Like Peter's got his mustache, right? He's got his.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know what to do with a beard. Like it can't get much longer than this, because then you kind of have to know how to like groom it. You got to know how to trim it and comb it. I guess I don't care to really do that either. Whatever.
I'll share with you a secret. So my thing about Troy Baker, I really admire his work and I admire his wisdom. So I used to get cameos from him all the time. And it got to a point where I got one during lockdown. And Troy Baker is normally a very groomed, very like polished looking guy. And I swear to God, I saw that man in like sweats with a beanie on, a beard basically out to here. And he was just sitting there and he was happy as fucking Larry, just sitting, sipping on coffee. I was like, wow, this is amazing.
Yes. Oh my goodness. Yeah. Troy is not only is he the most talented person I probably know, because he's so good with, not only does he do performance capture really well, he also writes, he also directs. He's also a really, really talented musician.
Oh my goodness, his music is fantastic.
It almost just doesn't end. I mean, and like I said before, a really cool guy. He also is the very best dressed person I know. Nobody dresses as well as Troy.
You know what? I'm seeing him this weekend, so like I'm gonna be like, yeah, we were kind of having a moment over you. So
yeah. Yes, tell him I said what's up. I'm sure he's gonna be looking good. He does. It's just what he does.
Like the last time I saw him, he had like this massive fedora on. He had a jumper and these pants that were like, they looked tartan, but they weren't. It looked like he was wearing pajamas, and I was like, Troy, you're not on your game today. Like, what's going on?
Yeah, he's a funny, cool dude. Yeah, you never know. He's gonna look better than me. I can promise you that. And every other person around him. He's got it. He's got it figured out.
So I've been meaning to ask you, how did you find Scotland? That was your first time in Europe, wasn't it?
First time. I had been to Birmingham. And
oh yes, so you have. My apologies.
But I guess, wait a minute. With Brexit, no, I'm just kidding.
Well, no, that Scotland counts as well. Scotland's not independent.
So if you count Birmingham and Telford, and okay, so we went to Birmingham first and did a convention there. Roger and Peter and I, and then also Jeff Zanini, who's our booking agent for these conventions, and another guy named Ian who works with Jeff. We all, for the 4 or 5 days between these conventions, we went to this place called the Brecon Beacons, which is an area. It's not like it's like out in the middle of nowhere, and it's mountainous and it's beautiful. Really, there's nothing out there besides sheep. So we went and we rented this place. It was like a house, and we hung out and had a really, really cool time. But like, you go outside and there was nothing. There were thousands of sheep around, but we hung out there, and what a wild, just, it felt like we were on a different planet. I've never been anywhere like it. It was beautiful. But it was just so different than what I'm used to. And then so Telford, which was awesome. And then, yeah, went to Edinburgh, and it was really cool. I think for you, so, you live there. So, but in that area.
40 minutes out. So you have the Forth Road Bridge. Edinburgh's on one side, Fife is on the other. And that's where I am.
Okay. Okay. Well, so like the castle. I don't know, like, I
Beautiful.
don't know if you recognize how cool castles are. You know how many castles there are in the United States?
Zero.
Zero. There's not one. I mean, there are, like you've got like the Magic Kingdom. That's Disneyland. It's not real.
That's different.
But there's nothing that old. There is no structure of that size and that magnitude. I mean, so I do construction work. I have my whole entire life. And I see these castles and I realize how old they are. And I also see that they're way up on top of a hill, and there's huge stones. I don't know how they did. I truly don't know how they did it. And they're still there. It's amazing. It's one of the coolest things. So it's just one of the coolest things in the world for me to see is something that's that old. And so I really have enjoyed seeing the castles. And Edinburgh, there's the what it's called, the something mile, the
Royal Mile.
the Royal Mile. Yeah. And so we did that. Roger, Ben Davis, Alex McKenna, and I. Alex had her friend Ari with us, but we started up at the castle and walked down this mile. And as we were walking down, saw all kinds of really beautiful old buildings, and also had stopped several places to get food, had really delicious meals, had drinks, really enjoyed the day. It was just so cool. I don't know, we probably stuck out like sore thumbs because we're not from there. We don't dress the same, whatever, but everyone was like really friendly. And I really enjoyed it. I'm not saying that you wouldn't find friendly people in the United States. Of course you would. And they're everywhere. But it was just exciting. It was really, really awesome to be somewhere so unfamiliar, but also feel so welcomed.
Mm-hmm.
It was great. Yeah. Nobody knows.
Did you learn any Scottish patter while you were over there?
I don't know. I may have, and maybe have forgotten it because I don't hear it here. So it's kind of something, if you learn a new language, you have to use it or you lose it. So maybe I did. I do know that there were a couple people that I've met who they speak English, and I could not understand a word of what they said. I am so sorry. I'm so embarrassed right now. I truly don't know what you're saying. I can't understand what you're saying.
I mean, like, if you go to Edinburgh, fair enough. Like, my accent's not heavy. I think, especially when I'm on the phone or doing like an interview, I'm barely Scottish. People think I'm English because I was taught how to speak proper. But if you go to like Glasgow or Aberdeen, you'll probably will not get a word. You will not understand it.
No, and I
would promise you that.
There was a woman that I was talking to. I was just standing outside. I wasn't at my table or anything. I was just standing outside hanging out, and she said, whatever it was she said, and then she smiled and she said something with the words "you don't understand." Those are the only words that I understood her say.
Oh my God.
I said, right, you're right. I'm so sorry. I don't understand. I don't understand what you're saying. And she was laughing. She thought it was funny. I mean, it wasn't like she was offended or anything, but I thought
because you're so polite, you'll just smile and nod, and then I'm like, you're getting none of this.
That's what I was doing. And then finally she said, you don't understand. And I thought, thank you I'm sorry. I'm trying to, but she was really nice and friendly. And I thought, I'm so rude right now. I'm not saying anything back. I have no idea what you're talking about.
My cat is about to jump into a lampshade and I'm not ready for this.
Oh no, it's going to come down on you, isn't it?
Well, she's giving me like these evil eyes behind this like toy robin that my phone sat on right now. So hopefully she doesn't knock it over. I see her knocking over.
Welcome to the jungle.
But I
Yeah,
was saying to you earlier, you have 4 dogs, right?
yeah,
You
yeah.
have
We
like,
did.
oh wait, here she is. Tilly. Oh wait, no, okay, the dogs are chasing after her. That's fine.
Oh yeah. Well, yeah. There's one right behind you.
Yeah,
Little.
they're both there.
Yeah, yeah. Your dogs are great. Yeah. We have 4 dogs. We do right now. So my wife and I, when we met, I had 2 dogs of my own, and they're boxers. Do people around you have boxers? Is that a breed that people like
Yeah,
there?
that's fine.
Yeah, so I had 2 boxers and we both loved them. They're so funny and they're really sweet. I mean, sometimes they can look pretty intimidating because they got that real serious look on their face all the time. But they're sweet, but they also, with that real serious look, are always doing something that's like just so dumb. And then it makes it even funnier because you're like, I can't understand why you're doing something that you're, whatever it is that you're doing that's so dumb, but you're also so serious about it. So
Mhm.
you're just entertained by them all the time. Anyway, we had those 2 boxers, and I guess their lifespan is typically like 8 to 10, 12 years if you're lucky, right? So both of them passed away. And then we got a dog that's called a Daniff, which is a combination between a Great Dane and a Bull Mastiff.
Wow.
And
Okay.
yeah, big dogs. And we both thought, yeah, we want a big giant dog. We've got 2 young boys that are going to be rough and whatever. We have a big dog that they can play with, and they're not going to hurt the dog. We won't have to worry about that. Whatever. So we got her, and she's awesome. She looks like a big black lab. She looks just like your dog, but just bigger.
I mean, I can show you her right now. Like, she's just chilling. She's brought
Yes.
her toy from outside in, which she's not meant to. I'll tell her off later.
She does. I mean, Sophie is her name, and Sophie looks exactly like your dog. She's just twice the size, probably, but the sweetest. Honestly, big dogs don't know that they're big. There's no doubt about it. She's the biggest.
No.
It's almost embarrassing. She's got a really big bark, so I guess if you were a stranger coming to our house, she would intimidate you. But then if you walked
That's
inside,
exactly the same with her.
yeah, so whatever. I guess the bark is more important. Hopefully that'd be enough. But we have her. We have golden retriever, and she's really cool. Taylor picked her out and loves her, and she's really sweet too. I think just any kind of lab is. That's just the way they are.
Me and my friend Nicola have this thing, and we are like, oh, like, who would be, if the cast of Red Dead were any kind of dog, what would they be? And we always say that you're a golden retriever.
That's awesome. Well, I'm happy to be one. I would love that if that's what I was. That they're just really friendly and always enjoying themselves, it seems like. So I guess thank you. I take
You're
that
just
as
happy with life, and it's great.
Is it Nicola Bacon? Is that her name?
No, Nicola Anderson.
Okay. Well, I didn't know, but I was gonna say I know Nicola too, but I maybe don't know.
You do know, you do know this Nicola. You've just there's a lot of Nicolas.
Okay. So hi Nicola. Hi both Nicolas.
That's hilarious.
So Sophie and Bella is our golden. They're both old. They're pretty old at this point, and we decided that we wanted to have a puppy, and then we decided after we got our puppy, we want to have 2 puppies. Well, for a few reasons, but mainly this boxer puppy we got was so full of energy, as any puppy is, but boxers are just wound up. And she was attacking Sophie and Bella to the point of where it was like, all right, this isn't cool anymore. Like,
oh God.
Not trying to hurt them, but just so much energy. And they're both so like, just stop, So we knew eventually we would get another puppy, 3 or 4 years down the road when the other 2 are gone. Probably by then they will be, sadly, but Then we realized how destructive this boxer puppy is too, and thought, do we really want to do this twice? We decided, no, let's just do it all now. So yeah, we're being overrun by dogs, bad dogs. 2 of them really good, 2 of them really bad. But whatever, we'll get there.
Dogs are so great, especially like how they just pick each other up, in the sense that like Millie, this one over here, she's like, I got her when I was 16. I'm 24 now. She must be 10. I don't know how old she is really. I don't know maths, guys, but so basically she's an old girl now, and we were getting really worried about her. We were like, oh my God, she's not going to last very long now. But then Kenny, my stepdad, wanted a Jack Russell for such a long time. He loves those dogs. And so he went along to wherever, the breeder, whoever it was, and there was 2 left. And he went, picked him up. They started to drive away and like, nah, we need to get the other one. We need to get the other one. And ever since they've come along, like, she's just got so much energy, which we don't know where it came from. Like, now it's kind of wearing out now. She's just tired all the time now, but like, oh my God. Like, we thought she was literally on death's door, and now she's just, it's like night and day. It's crazy.
It's really good. I think it's good for them to have companions and be reminded, that's what they do. That's what dogs do. They just run around and enjoy stuff, hang out. So
like
good.
that video I sent you, this is how tolerant she is. Like, so Isa was sitting just on top of Millie. She just sits on top of her and just like, she's just enjoying life. And Millie's like, yeah, okay, yeah, this is fine.
Yeah, I'm good with it. Whatever. I know that's so great. I love that stuff. I love it.
I think it was one day I went downstairs and all of them, including the cat, was sitting on her, and I was just like, right, this is too far now. Come on.
Yeah, have some respect. Oh God. Pretty awesome.
So yeah, your life is very busy and hectic. So how would you describe a typical day for you?
My goodness, it's all kind of changing right now because I've got a new job. I'm starting a new job. I'm not going to do construction anymore. I mean, I will on my own, right? But I won't work for a construction company anymore. I'm going to work at a body shop, an auto body shop, like a collision center. And I'm really excited about it. And I'm not going to be doing repair work. I'm going to be doing more administrative stuff. But that's going to be so much easier on my body. I mean, my goodness, I'm gonna have to figure out a workout routine or something, because I was so physical for so many years doing that construction stuff, and now I'm going to be at a desk. I mean, I'll be moving around a little bit more than just sitting at a desk all day long, but not a whole lot more. So, but it's going to be good. It's going to be consistent hours, consistent pay, benefits, that kind of stuff. I'm really excited about it. But so because of that change, I'll tell you what it was like before. I would wake up every day at 5, every weekday at 5 a.m. and make my coffee. And really, I started getting up at 5 because that's the only time of the day where I'm the only one awake. No one's there.
Wow.
Nobody needs anything from me. Nobody. I don't want to, everybody needs just a little bit of time to just their own self, right? Mm-hmm. So I decided that the best way for me to do that is to just get up before anybody else wanted to, and it worked. So I would hang out, look at my phone, read articles that I was interested in, or, of course, look at social media and all that stuff. And then I would typically leave home at 6:20, 6:25, whatever, and get to work and get the truck loaded up for whatever we were going to do that day, and then go out and work doing whatever it was that we were doing. It was primarily concrete, but you never knew if it was going to be a slab or if it was going to be walls, or, some of the jobs were bigger, obviously, where you'd be on them for several days and then you just work your way through it. do what needs to be done as it needs to be done. But there were also days where we would do 3 or 4 different jobs in a day. So
Wow.
yeah. And so it's not like we knew every day going there what it was we were going to do for the day. You just had to be motivated to do whatever was asked of you. And some days weren't as hard as others, but some days were really hard physically. And I'm 46 years old, daggone it. I did, and till the very last day, I did the best that I could. I worked as hard as I could, but just looking down the road, like how much longer would I really want to do that? I don't want to do that anymore. So I'm not doing that anymore. So, but then, come home, and usually I would get home around 4:30, 5 o'clock, I guess, and hang out with my wife and kids. And, I'm going to dream up something stupid to post on the internet. I do it regularly enough that's always something that I have fun doing. But yeah, young kids, try to hang out with them and enjoy the evening and go to bed. I go to bed. The thing about getting up at 5 a.m. is that you go to bed early, especially if you've had a long physical day and you're exhausted. I would go to bed at 9:30 at night. And even if it was a Friday or Saturday night, as much as I love Friday nights, and I love them, I'd be done at 9:30. That's it. That's all I got, So not too exciting, I guess, but busy from the beginning to the end.
I just had to ask you that because the amount of times like we've spoken, it's always like I'd get a message from you at like 10 in the morning, and I'm like, I'm trying to like calculate the time in my head, and I'm like, Jesus, like, oh my God,
why is
what
he
time
awake?
is it?
Yeah.
I'm like, go back to sleep.
No, truthfully, it's like to do anything when everyone else is awake. It's just you got to be ready to be, available for what needs to happen right now. You can't just sit down on your phone and just say, no, I'm just going to send this email real quick. No, you don't. You got to do whatever's got to be done, So it's like that for everyone. I guess if you're feeling overwhelmed and don't feel like you have time for yourself, set your alarm and wake up before everyone else. And then you got some time. You got a little bit of time. Then you can enjoy it. Slow down a little bit. Hopefully that helps. If that's what people are looking for.
Like I was just always so curious because I knew that your construction job would be ridiculously long hours and stuff like that. So it's like, yeah, I'm curious. I need to know this.
Yeah. And it was great. I mean, I enjoyed it until I didn't, it just got to a point where I thought, this is a young person's job, and I'm feeling it. Like when you start getting sore in your fingers, you know what I mean? Like, my body was starting to get sore on a regular basis. Where I thought, why am I doing this? I'm worn out. Anyway, it's all good. Glad I did it.
Like your boys are getting older now. They're 12 now. Am I right?
11. Yeah,
11.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. They're 5th graders. Next year they go to the middle school. Yeah, everything's happens so fast. I know everyone's heard that, and everyone's like, whatever.
It's so true though.
Yeah. And the older you get, the faster it goes. I guess just being busy all the time does that, Time flies when you're having fun. Time flies when you're busy too. It's just the way it goes.
Definitely. Like I don't even know where this year went, to be honest.
I know. I feel the same way. It's insane to me that
like it's the 1st of December.
No, I know. It's weird. I still think so. Like when COVID happened, I just completely lost track of time. I didn't know what day it was. It didn't matter. It just didn't matter, because where were you going to go? You're not going anywhere. You're not doing anything anyway. Doesn't matter. It's daytime or it's nighttime. That's really all it matters. Well, so it's, I guess because it didn't matter, I lost I lost the ability to know, like, oh, that was 3 weeks ago, or that was, now I'm still not like fully on track. It's just weird.
Yeah.
Maybe it's going to take a little while to get that back. I don't know, but
I mean, like, the dogs are going insane. But I think, like, with working in healthcare, it's like we're so used to our shifts being like a certain schedule, but at the same time, it's like when you have those days off, it's like they're like that. You can't. It's like you can't enjoy them because you're just like it just goes by so fast, and
it does. It really does. You know what helps with that? And I know this is weird, because why would you want to do this on a day where you have the freedom to do whatever you want, or not do anything at all? If you just write down a schedule, it doesn't have to be like every hour, but just like at whatever time I want to do this. And at least, like, if you look at it, or if you set an alarm on your phone or something like that, it at least reminds you, like, it's only 11 a.m. I've still got several hours to enjoy. I can do the things I wrote down, or I don't have to. But
exactly,
it makes you like recognize, oh, it's only 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I still got a whole day. Because otherwise, you're right. It's gone. It's gone. Yeah.
So I think especially if you're a gamer, like your day's just gone because you're in this void of doing nothing. And you're like, okay, I can do something now. And then you're like, oh no, wait, it's nearly bedtime. I've not left my room.
Yeah. I can see how that can happen very easily. I definitely can see it. Just, you get so immersed in.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Like I don't play a lot of horror games, but I think that's what sucks me in the most, because I'm like, it's more determination of getting to the next part, because I'm just like this the whole time, like I need to get through, I need to get past this bit, and then like nope. Next thing you know, I'm screaming, my mom's yelling at me. Like, I'm sorry.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that too, with games, there's no time like time limit on the majority of the stuff that you do, right? And so,
oh no, there's not.
And if you die, you respawn. It's just time is different. You don't have to, it can get away from you pretty easy.
I know, like when I stream, I always make it 8 o'clock in the evening because I can play it for 2 hours. So I've got enough time to think about going to bed after. So I'm like, that's how I schedule my streams. But I'm like, I can't consistently stick to a stream schedule because I'm like, oh, there's no way in hell.
Yeah, I know. It's a slippery slope. I don't know. I say someday. I do look forward to that day because I know there's a whole lot of stuff to really enjoy and really appreciate when you're playing these games. But I am nervous about that, like getting so focused that I think, okay, I'm going to go eat lunch, and it's like 9 o'clock at night. And I think, oh, wow. Yeah.
I think one of my, like, the best moments was I was waiting because your guys' lines in Edinburgh were so long. So there was at a point where luckily the retro gaming session, like area was right across from you guys. So like I'm just sitting playing Crash Bandicoot, waiting for your line to go down so I could just jump in. It's great. It's
like... Yeah, that was so cool. It's amazing, the support that we get in places that are so far from home. I don't know why. I mean, I guess these games are released worldwide. It's just, I think that I'm from a small town, right? And I moved to LA, and then I was just like, wow, there's no way. I mean, it was overwhelming. All this stuff was so overwhelming. And then you book a job here and a job there and whatever. And then you start to think like, okay, this is actually kind of happening. Whether for me, in my case, it was like commercials, whatever, right? Never really any TV shows or movie roles that I truly moved there to try to book. I didn't have a whole lot of luck with that, but I would get a commercial regularly enough to make me say, yeah, things are happening. I'm going to keep doing this and keep trying. And then ultimately for me, I did the Red Dead series, I guess, and thought that was definitely worth the work and the
Mhm.
patience that I had to stay with it. It wasn't a movie, but it was, I mean,
It was like a movie.
yeah. And I worked longer on it than I would have a movie. They don't
Mhm.
take that, right? So I got, I got a really great experience out of the whole thing. And I still enjoyed the Red Dead experience is still in this very moment happening. And so I still enjoy that. And I'm so fortunate. But yeah, it's just wow. It's just the whole thing is really crazy.
Yeah. And like, as you said, like the cons are everywhere. Like they're everywhere. And like, and it's just amazing to see how far a game can go, in a sense that like if you guys are going to like each different part of the universe, like the amount of people that you can meet in a day, like it's just insane. In a year is insane. Like
Yeah.
I don't know how you guys do it. I think my social battery would be completely drained.
No, it wouldn't. No, I'll tell you what, the coolest thing, I mean, the coolest thing is you're there and you have people who are interested in sharing their stories with you about what they enjoyed about the game and all of the it is so cool, and that's what gives you energy. And by the end of the day, when it's time to go back to the hotel, everybody just, it's hard to keep your eyes open because then you realize, oh my goodness, I'm actually really kind of tired. But in the moment, no, it's you're fueled by all the really cool people and the great stories that they share that, and you meet people that say, yeah, we're friends. We've never seen each other in person, but we met playing Red Dead online.
Yeah.
This is the first time. And you're like, oh my goodness, that is so cool. Awesome.
It's crazy.
Oh, yeah. So all that kind of stuff is really, it makes you feel good. I mean, I already know that I'm very fortunate to have been able to have this experience, but then to see that kind of stuff and learn those stories, that's a whole different level of, wow, this is cool. And I'm so happy that it's turned out that way.
Yeah. So would you say this whole thing has changed your life?
Oh my goodness, without a doubt. Without a doubt. The experiences that I have had because of this, including the whole process of the production of this series. It's really hard to explain to people, family members, even, like this is what I've been able to enjoy. And I try to explain to them what it looks like when you're shooting it, whatever. And then I've gotten to talk to them about the conventions and the traveling I've done, and nobody else gets to do this. You know what I mean? There are so few people that actually get to experience this whole thing. And I know I keep saying, I realize I'm very fortunate. I'm very appreciative of it. But I also I want someone else. I want everyone else to be able to experience this and enjoy it. It's like, I really feel like I won the lottery, or possibly even better. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh, that's lovely.
Yeah. Surrounded by really cool people, and I hope, I think you feel the same way, and I hope the whole community feels that way. I think that is awesome. That's really awesome.
Yeah, like just the whole experience is amazing. I think I've met so many people, not just through Red Dead, just through like loads of other video games as well, obviously.
Yeah.
Like it's just wild. Like this whole thing is crazy. Like I never thought like I would make friends, especially with you guys, because it's just like, I don't know, it's just something that you don't really think about. Like you don't think about being friends with the actors in a game that you love. You just don't think about it. It's crazy.
Well, I'm so glad that we are friends. But think about this too. When I moved to LA, I wasn't a gamer, so it wasn't on my radar, right? I didn't know like exactly how video games were made. Of course I didn't know. I just didn't. I don't think a lot of people do know until they do it and see what it looks like when you're doing it. I'm a character in a video game. Think about how weird that is. I mean, it's not me, but I played the role of a character in a video game. And I think that's hard to wrap my head around too. You know what I mean? It's what a cool thing. What a cool experience. But it's just like kind of weird. Like, yeah, that happened. That's wild. It's just wild.
Well, Rob, I think we've spoken so much and it was been so much fun. Thank you so much for joining me. I love having you on here. I really, really do. You're just this positive light and force. And I think I was so anxious before doing this, but that's my own fault. I drank so much coffee.
Well, you know,
I was like,
be anxious around me, but thank you for having me and thank you for your kind words. I feel the same way about you. You're awesome. You always have been.
Thank you.